Good evening and welcome to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news, updates, debates and my opinions. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. We are on the way to 10,200 subscribers. And if you could like the video as well, like the live stream, before we even get into it, just take a second just to go below and click on the like button. It's a Monday. It's a bank holiday Monday if you're in the UK. So if you have had a good bank holiday, well, I hope you have had a good bank holiday Monday. Back to work and school tomorrow. But there's loads of you in here, which is good to see. VV Vlad, K123, Icarus, Pekka, Sportcat, Oslo Guna, Ethan Udall, Timuel Douglas, Jelly Belly, Oslo Guna. Gabe's here. Evening. Good to finally catch a live stream and not re-watch. But shout out to everyone that is rewatching. I know some of you can't make the lives. Mia, Ultra Pro Gamer, Saliba, King Kylo's here, Ross Lawman, Thomas Willis, Vic, Hannah, It's Gaming, Creeper, President Bozo. It is good to see you all. There's quite a lot to talk about today. Obviously, we will cover the stuff that happened on the weekend, although it was kind of business as usual. Arsenal win, Man City win, Spurs get battered. That's pretty much just how it goes these days. But there were some talking points, which we will get into. And there's also some transfer stuff going on. Fair bit of transfer stuff going on in actual fact. And I think we'll start there. We'll get the transfer stuff out of the way. So the first bit, and pinch of salt because it is coming from the Daily Express. The source isn't brilliant. But they say Thomas Partey and Gabriel Jesus are said to be on the radar of several clubs in Saudi Arabia with lucrative contracts being lined up for the Arsenal duo. And honestly, look, if Saudi come in for those two, take the money, I think. I think both of those, look, they're both players that definitely could be useful for us next season. But they're both players that if you can get good money for them now, I think you take it and reinvest it. You know, if you could get between Partey and Jesus, 70 million. If you could get 70 million for Partey and Jesus combined, I think you do it. And I think you reinvest that 70 million elsewhere. It would be sad to see them go. Carter Sampson's lost his green name. Very sad. Very sad. Lots of you have lost your green names, unfortunately. But yeah, I think 70 million or so for them. We know that Edu has been out in Saudi laying the groundwork for some deals this summer. So is there a like-for-like Partey in the market, though? Probably not. There's probably not a like-for-like Partey. There are some players that will come close to it, but equally, like, we're not going to have Thomas Partey for a full season. You know? We're not going to be able to play Thomas Partey for a full season based on the injury record that he's got at Arsenal. And so I'd rather find a replacement that's close to Partey but is available for most of the season than not have that. Fofana very much reminds me of Partey, same height too. Interesting. Oslo Guna says Fofana from Monaco. Yeah, Fofana's what I need to watch more of Fofana, to be honest. I checked out his stats, and there are some that hit and some that miss in terms of what I'm looking for, but I've not seen him enough at all, to be quite honest. Bruno G, yeah, I mean, I still don't think Bruno G's passing is even close to Partey's. Did you see that Ornstein said Kudus has a release clause? Do you think we go for it? Yeah, Ornstein said he's got a release clause. Quite a few sources close to West Ham say that the release clause doesn't activate until next summer, as in summer 2025. So I'm not sure how. I mean, that they both could be right. Ornstein didn't specify that the release clause would be active this summer. So I don't know. If we could, I would. You know, I would. I would definitely pull the trigger for Kudus, but. As a sleeper pick for right-wing depth, I'd take Kubo, Marcus Edwards, or Amad Diallo. What do you think? Yeah, I actually want to talk about the right-wing situation a little bit later on. T-Nat apparently has a Patreon. Yeah, Team News and Ticks has a Patreon now, which is, look, fair play to him. I'd imagine he can make a lot of money off it, but it's a shame that he's gone down the Patreon route in terms of I can't be bothered to pay someone £5 a month to get that sort of information. Who's your top three favourite? For right wing, I'll get into it. Or midfield. I don't know. But yeah, so Thomas Partey, Jesus, if they both go to Saudi, if we can get the money for it, it's fine. All right, I'll talk about the right wing now. People want me to talk about the right wing now. So, The reason I want to talk about it is Mario Koscielny today scored another goal that is just Bukayo Saka. He scored one the other day where he cut in onto his left and whipped it into the far corner. That was very much like Saka against Man United or against Forest. He scored another one today that was more like, I think it was the goal, was it Burnley? Basically, he feigned to go onto his left, went down the right-hand side and just blasted it into the roof of the net at the near post. And again, you're just like, is he left-footed? Yeah, he's left-footed. He is Saka light. Like, he is. And the more you look at him, and look, I've not watched enough of the academy to know if he's good enough out of possession, if he's good enough defensively in terms of the work that Saka does. But surely that can be taught. And in terms of the attacking talent that he's got, like, it's clearly there. It is clearly there. And so you start looking at it and you go, okay, so Mario Koscielny is out of contract in June 30th. His contract runs out. And as it stands, Ornstein said back in October that we were looking to open talks with him to renew that contract or give him a new contract. But we're looking at it right now. As it stands, he's going to leave the club for nothing in the summer. And apparently, like, Newcastle are interested. And I'm just like, it doesn't make sense. The right wing market is kind of hit and miss at the moment. Now, I'm not saying, keep him and he'll be Saka's backup next season. Absolutely not. But keep him, give him apparently we've got a budget now, a bigger budget for the academy. We'll give him a pro contract, send him out on loan, give him another season and see where we're at with it. Because, I look at him and I go, there just aren't many players like that around. And it seems crazy to let an academy product like that go for free and then go out and look for a Saka backup. I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense for me. We'd love to see him make a 10-minute cameo one game. Yeah, well, he's not really been given any senior chances so far. He's one of the few. We've seen Nwaneri, we've seen Miles Lewis-Skelly, we've seen Ruel Walters. We've not really seen Koscielny given a chance, but he should have gone on loan earlier. That way, at least we'd have known if he's good enough, kind of like Patino. Yeah, maybe. Saw a weird rumour that Smith Rowe and Nketiah to be sold to Ipswich. Ipswich can't afford. I mean, I wouldn't really imagine Ipswich could afford either Smith Rowe or Nketiah, but they certainly couldn't afford Smith Rowe. I'd be very surprised if that happened, unless Ipswich have some money that I'm not aware of. Hi, good to see you. No worries, don't need to apologise. Convert Fabio Vieira to a right wing. He has a good shot on him. He's not fast enough. Fabio Vieira is not a quick enough player to be a winger in our system. I think he's I think he's an Ødegaard backup. That rumor was 60 million for both Eddie and Smith Rowe. That'd be, I mean, look, fair play to them. If they can come and drop 60 million on Smith Rowe and Nketiah, then would you take that 60 million for Smith Rowe and Nketiah? I'd want a little bit more, I think, because of Smith Rowe. He won't displace Ødegaard. No, but no one's going to displace Ødegaard. But Ødegaard has to have a backup for when he's not fit. We can't. This is the thing, and we've fallen into this trap before. We can't keep looking at players and going, well, this player, we can't buy this player or we can't keep this player because we've got this player that starts. Like, we've got to have players that can compete for every position. Smith Rowe, 50 million on his own. He's not, though. This is the problem, right? And I've explained this before. With Smith Rowe, Arsenal fans have a value on Smith Rowe that the rest of the market don't, right? And the way you've got to look at it is, imagine a player at Man United that had Smith Rowe's record. Imagine a player at Man United that was Smith Rowe's age, which is what, 22, 23, hadn't had a full season in the Premier League at any point, had a good spell a couple of years ago, and hadn't really started many games at all since then, has an injury history already. If you heard that Arsenal were going to go and bid 50 million on that player, you'd be like, what are we doing? We're giving Man United 50 million for that. What are we doing? Now, we know what Emile Smith Rowe is capable of. But until he starts showing that again, and he might never be given the opportunity to do that at Arsenal, no one's going to come in and put 50 million on Smith Rowe. McTominay, yeah, exactly. Imagine we bid 50 million for McTominay. It'd be crazy. So it's not going to happen. Arteta needs to take the blame for not integrating Vieira and Smith Rowe. But how can he? How can he? Also, apologies if it got a bit laggy then. I'm not sure if it did. How can we integrate Vieira and Smith Rowe when Ødegaard is quite simply levels above them? Now, should maybe one of them have been integrated as the left centre mid? Yeah, but actually, in reality, our midfield looks far better when it's Partey, Rice, and Ødegaard, or Jorginho, Rice, and Ødegaard. So I'm not even sure that the midfield functions better with Rice as a 6 and Fabio Vieira or Smith Rowe in there alongside Ødegaard. Truthfully, I think all three of those have to be boiled down to one player getting into the starting 11, and that's always going to be Martin Ødegaard. Which is why I don't think we can keep Fabio Vieira and Smith Rowe this summer. I think there is one spot on the bench for Fabio Vieira or Emil Smith Rowe. Now, because of injuries and stuff this season, a lot of the time they've both been on the bench. How many times have you seen both of them come on in a game? Almost never. It's either one or the other. And so cup competitions could have helped, but we went out of those so early. Yeah, look, we've been unlucky in the cup competitions. You know, we went out to West Ham, which was frustrating, and then we got drawn against Liverpool. We haven't had as many opportunities to play young kids. It's just how it is, unfortunately. I could see ESR going to Palace to replace Eze if they sell him. They'll get 70 million for Eze and probably do 30 million for Smith Rowe. Yeah, that's a possibility. And I mean, what a midfield that would be. Wharton, Smith Rowe. I could see them picking up Sambi Lokonga as well, maybe. I don't know how they felt about Sambi Lokonga, but time's up for Smith Rowe, Nelson, Eddie, Partey, Vieira, Jesus, and Zinni. Well, I don't think time could be up for both Vieira and Smith Rowe. In the same way that I think they take up one of the spots on the bench and one of them has to go, we can't lose both of them. Because then you've got to go out there and find another player like that. And I don't think that's something that we do this summer. Unless you're looking at like Nwaneri coming through, but I think it's too early for him. Going to go back and start the rewatch. Keep it up. Bradley, I appreciate you. And when you get back to this point, I appreciate you. Who do we sign as the Saka backup? Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I like Elise. Honestly, Madueke is rising on my list. I know we think he's got attitude problems, but even yesterday, the assist that he got for Jackson, that was not selfish. That was good play. I feel like Madueke, I don't know. I just got a feeling about him. How many signings do you think we will make? I think we'll make 4 or 5. The 5th being a substitute goalkeeper. Are you going to do a separate video for the Carolina Reaper? No, I'm going to do the Carolina Reaper I'm going to do the Carolina Reaper and then do the challenge at the same time whilst I'm eating it. Madueke's on an 8-year contract. Well, yeah, but if you buy him, you don't inherit their contract at Chelsea. If we buy Madueke, that doesn't put him on an 8-year contract at Arsenal. Do you think Bruno G could play for the 6? Could play the 6 as well for us if needed? Yeah, probably. He's played as the 6 more often than not for Newcastle, no? Have you seen the Szczesny links? Yeah, Szczesny's something that I'd be interested in. I've said this before. I think this summer, sell Ramsdale, bring in a goalkeeper on loan for a season or on a 2-year short contract. Wojciech Szczesny's 34. I could see that happening. And I wouldn't be against it either. And that would then give time for either a Okonkwo or Karl Hein to basically get to the level that they would need to be. Hatto's apparently one of the top on our list defensively. Yeah, by the way, is anyone actually on Team News and Tix' Patreon? Because I know Team News and Tix supposedly gave the list of defenders that are on our list today. But I'm not paying for the Patreon. Have I got an Everton ticket? No, not yet. I do need to get an Everton ticket. Try to watch more of Nico Williams in the coming weeks. Yeah, I will. Once the season's over, I'll just go back and watch a lot of their highlights and stuff. Loopy Arsenal, I'm good, thank you. Hope you're doing well. Arteta deserves a super signing. If he gets what he wants, he's going to go with something big. We saw it with Declan. Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to spend 250 to... I think we'll spend between 250 and 300 million this summer, depending on sales. I think we've got about 150 million plus sales to spend. And depending on how many of those sales we make and what money we get for them. Hatto, Murillo, and Branthwaite is on our list. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that. Interesting, maybe Diamande's not on it. If Diamande's not on the list, then that means every time we've gone to watch Sporting, it's probably for Gyokores. Whoop, 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 whoop. Actually, speaking of Gyokores, so Sporting officially won the league yesterday, and they had a kind of celebration parade type thing yesterday evening. And Gyokores said this. He said, "Thank you very much, Sporting fans. See you soon. I can't promise that I'll still be here. I love it here, and I wouldn't mind. But things happen quickly in football, and we have to adapt to that. We'll see what happened. It's hard to predict what will happen in the future. Ruben Amorim's a great coach. I wouldn't mind continuing with him here. I've had a lot of good managers. It's hard to pick one, but he brought me here, and it's been a great season." Now, he hasn't specifically said that he's leaving, and he hasn't said goodbye. But as far as it goes, when a footballer is planning on leaving a club, for me, it doesn't get much more clear than that. To tell them already on the day that they're celebrating winning the title, I can't promise that I'll still be here. I love it here and I wouldn't mind. But things happen quickly in football. To me, that's a goodbye. That's as much of a goodbye as you'll ever really get from a player, in my opinion. But the issue is he going to come to Arsenal? And that's problematic. I read a stat and it said we haven't something at Old Trafford since 2006. Can't see Branthwaite in Arteta's system. A bit too expensive as well. Yeah, Branthwaite will be the most expensive of those three. Branthwaite will be expensive. Branthwaite will have the English tax. And I think Man United want him. And I don't think we really want to go head-to-head with United because they just pay stupid money. Although maybe not anymore. Honest question, do we cash in on Martinelli? No. You don't cash in on a player off the back of a bad season, in my opinion. Gives me Hazard to Madrid vibes. Yeah, remember Hazard after the... Was it after the Europa League win? Was it when they beat us in the Europa League? Do you think we trigger that clause on the opening day of Gyokores? Or was it when they won the... No, not the Champions League. I can't remember. Do you think we trigger the clause on the opening day for Gyokores? No, I don't know. I don't think we'll trigger any clauses. Maybe. It's hard to know. Talking of release clauses, by the way, Benjamin Sesko, right? It's always been reported that Benjamin Sesko's release clause was 50 million euros, right? It had always been reported that that Sesko's release clause was 50 million euros. And at 50 million euros, with the way he's been playing recently, that didn't seem too bad. That felt like an option if you weren't going to go and get a Gyokores and spend that level of money, but you were kind of happy with the way that Havertz has been playing, and so you were willing to get someone a bit more raw, who you could give a bit more time to. 50 million for Benjamin Sesko didn't seem too bad. However, the release clause in the Slovenian's contract, valid from this summer, is performance-based. In the winter, the release clause was still around 50 million euros. However, due to his good performances during the second half of the season, the release clause has now risen to 65 million euros. The amount depends on playing time, goals, and assists. In the maximum case, the sum could rise to 75 million euros, depending on Sesko's last 2 games of the season for Leipzig. Top Premier League clubs are keeping an eye on the 20-year-old striker. So suddenly, instead of paying 50 million euros for his release clause, you could be looking at 75 million euros. At that point, you don't need to spend much more to get Gyokores. So, yeah. I mean, it's very smart from Leipzig. I didn't even know that was I didn't even know performance-based release clauses were really a thing. But that is frustrating, but impressive. I don't know if Sesko is that guy. Yeah, I mean, I watched Sesko in the Champions League, and he was wasteful. He was definitely wasteful. Only 27 likes. There's 167 of you in here and 27 likes. It's a disgrace. Yeah, come on. Drop a like on the video if you could, please. Thank you. Do you believe Saka has been worse than he was last season? Feel like people disrespect him a lot? No, I think he's had to play differently to the way he did last season. And not even just last season. I think people, when they remember Bukayo Saka last season, what they think they remember of Bukayo Saka last season, they're remembering Bukayo Saka in the first half of last season. We can't play that way anymore. And what they are effectively remembering when they remember the Bukayo Saka that was playing in the first half of last season, where we were able to play such free-flowing football, the reason he was able to do that is kind of the same reason that Cole Palmer has looked so good this season. It's, we were playing such open and expansive football against teams that didn't take us seriously. And that allowed Bukayo Saka to play in the way that he did in the first half of last season. I think the way that he's managed to change this season and still put up, I mean, he's had his best numbers ever. This season, his numbers have been better than ever before. And he's done that whilst being double and triple marked and all the rest of it. So, yeah, I think he's had a great season, all things considered. Did you see what Lee Gunner was saying? You're going to have to be more specific about what Lee Gunner was saying, but probably not, no. Saka's spoken about like he's average. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable the way Saka's spoken about. If Martinelli, by the way, as well, right? Half the people that talk about Saka in that way won't talk about Jack Grealish in that way. Jack Grealish, by the way, 11 goals for Man City in the Premier League. 11 goals for Man City in the Premier League. Not this season, total. Since Jack Grealish joined Man City nearly 3 seasons ago, he's basically had now 3 full seasons, 11 Premier League goals. And yet Bukayo Saka gets spoken about as if he in a worse way than Jack Grealish. Because Jack Grealish is given it's not about goals, it's not about assists, it's what about he offers, it's all about what he offers on that side in terms of recycling the ball and all that stuff. Bukayo Saka does that all the time. No credit for that. It's weird. It's weird. Ideal window for me, taking money into account, Bruno G for 80 million, Gyokores for 85 million, Madueke for 40 million, Hato for 25 million, Steele for 5 to 10 million, total 240 million. I agree with all of those except Hato for 25 million. I think Hato will be closer to 50 million. Grealish has to go down as one of the worst 100 million signings ever, surely. The thing is, he never will. He never will. Because he was a fairly important player and played a lot of minutes in a treble-winning team. And so that will always be the justification for his price tag. Well, we paid 100 million for him, but he won the treble. So they don't care. Now, they also spent a lot of money on a lot of other players to win the treble. And you could argue that if you had someone other than Jack Grealish in that team, they'd still have won the treble. But that will always be the justification. Any winger can retain a ball. It's not hard. I mean, I think to an extent it can be hard. But yeah, it's not, You'd expect that if you're paying 100 million for a winger, they can retain the ball. Hyper Protagonist, a member for 1 month. Good evening, Rory. Big up, chat. Oi, oi, Savaloy. Hyper Protagonist, thank you very much. What a legend. What a legend. I appreciate the support. For me, Grealish is a flop. Rice is 7 in the league for us. No excuses. Yeah, exactly. And by the way, if you were thinking, that's because Grealish gets more assists. No, he's got 11 assists as well. 11 assists in 3 seasons. Okie dokie. Crazy how Palmer doesn't have to prove his ability in Europe and for England and regular seasons going for titles. Yeah, I know. For Saka, the goalposts always moved. It was, he's got to do it in Europe. Then he's got to do it in the Champions League. And he had to do it for England. And then he had to do it for England in a World Cup. And then, it's forever changing. 50 games and only 5 goals for Grealish last season. Yep. Exactly. Why do you think Timber didn't play for the under-21s when he wasn't in the squad for the Bournemouth game? Not sure. I'm not sure why, but why Timber didn't play in the under-21s and then didn't play or wasn't even in the squad. To be honest, at this point, right? I mean, I don't think he'll play at Old Trafford, so I think we'll see him. And this, I would like this, to be honest. If we see Timber come off the bench against Everton, I think that'll be nice. Just to get a massive round of applause and a welcome back at the end of the season. Would you sign Evan Ferguson? No, probably not. Not for the money that Brighton would still want for him, considering the season that he's had, which has been almost non-existent. Would you take Somerville? Somerville's an interesting one. To be honest, it massively depends on whether or not Leeds get promoted. If Leeds don't get promoted, Somerville will have to leave. He can't do another season in the Championship. Someone his ability, it would be ridiculous. It'll be interesting. Solid 70-minute season for Timber if he comes on against Everton. I know. I'm a huge admirer of Isak. If Arsenal want to buy a striker, I think he's the better option than Gyokores. I don't think anyone's going to get Isak out of Newcastle. I don't think Isak will leave Newcastle this summer, personally. Michael Owen said drop Saka from the Euros and play Palmer instead. I saw. It's Michael Owen. You know, I pay zero attention to anything Michael Owen has to say. Do you think Arsenal could negotiate the Gyokores fee, doing 70 million over 4 years? Maybe. It depends. It depends if anyone else comes in and triggers the release clause. The release clause, 85 million quid, but we'll see. 4.99 super chat from Peter Baker. Peter, thank you very, very much for that. He says, let people choose Palmer over Saka for England. Hell, let's hope Saka leaves Saka. Let's hope Southgate leaves Saka at home. As an Arsenal fan, I want our boy fit and fighting next season. Yeah, I mean, look, Bukayo Saka's going to start for England. You know, I just don't understand. I don't understand. I don't even have the energy to argue with people that think Palmer should start over Saka for England. Apart from anything, given the fact that you're going into a major tournament. By the way, fucking hell. See, I've got dragged into it now. And now I'm getting angry. The same people that will tell you that Cole Palmer should start at the Euros instead of Bukayo Saka will also tell you that Harry Maguire has to start for England because he's got so much England experience and because he's never done anything bad. He's never let England down. So they'll use that to tell you that Harry Maguire should start for England over far better defenders. But Bukayo Saka, who's been England's player of the year for the last 2 years and has performed at both of the last 2 major tournaments, no. But by the way, he's still considered 10th at the moment. Bukayo Saka is still considered the 10th favourite to win the Ballon d'Or. But no, drop him. Just in case we get a penalty that won't be taken by Cole Palmer anyway, because it'll be taken by Harry Kane. Did you see Nunez blocking and deleting Liverpool-related posts and pics from his socials? Yeah, I did, yeah. Deleted all of the posts on his Instagram. By the way, there's over 200 people here. Please do smash the like button and subscribe if you're new, but mainly smash the like button and subscribe. Yeah, Nunez deleted all of the posts on Instagram that related to Liverpool and then started going through Twitter and blocking all of the Liverpool-related accounts. Imagine when Kai Havertz was struggling at the start of the season. Imagine he just went on Twitter and started blocking Eduardo Hayne and I don't know. What's his name? Welbeck. Not Welbeck. What's his name? Can't remember. What about Dominic Solanke? Not for me. Aaron, that was you. It was good to see you. Nice. I didn't realize you were one of the YouTube chat, but I appreciate it. Wellbeast, that's the one. Hutchinson said he wants to stay at Ipswich. On loan or permanently? This is the issue that Chelsea have by accumulating so many players, right? Players don't want to go back. Ian Maatson doesn't want to go back to Chelsea. I'd be interested if that was Hutchinson wanting to stay on loan at Ipswich or wanting to move permanently there. Grealish should have gone to Man United. He's not allowed to express himself like he showed in the Aston Villa. He was the main man allowed to roam. He should have gone to Man United. Yeah, but part of the reason that Man United aren't very good is because half of their players are allowed to just free roam and not really contribute to the team. So it's not always a good thing. It's not always a good thing. I hope we get rid of the Brazilian El Hadj Diouf, aka Gabriel, Mr. Chance Jesus. We've outgrown him. He's allergic to goals. I think that's harsh. I thought his assist for Declan Rice at the weekend was fantastic. I still think Jesus can offer. You know, I would like him to get more surgery in the summer and see how he comes back from that. But you know, I still think Jesus can. You know, technically he's still one of the best players that we've got. He's still one of the best dribblers of the ball that we've got. He can still make things happen. I've seen dairy cows with less free roam than those United players. United, where individuals thrive but team ethics fall short. Yeah, exactly. Thoughts on the United Palace game tonight? Palace are winning tonight. In fact, I not only would I will. I will put money on Crystal Palace winning tonight. Man United are going to be playing with Casemiro and Johnny Evans at centre back. Apparently, they've also not. In fact, the lineups are out. Let me bring on the lineups. Let me bring the lineups for the game. I'm telling you, Palace are winning. So the lineups. Look at this. Onana in goal. Wan-Bissaka, Casemiro, Johnny Evans, Dalot with Mainu and Eriksson, Garnacho, Mount, Anthony, and Højlund. Right? This Palace team, with the way that they've been playing, Henderson, Klein, Anderson, Richards, Munoz, Wharton and Hughes and Mitchell, Eze, Elise, Mateta. Eze, Elise, and Mateta are going to cook Casemiro and Johnny Evans. I'm telling you. Oh, it's going to be great. It is going to be great. Yeah, Bruno's injured, apparently. Look at that injury list. By the way, the injury list Palace have got isn't much better. Gyokores, Lerma, Rob Holding, you know? No. But there you go. Yeah, honestly, Palace are winning. And it's at Selhurst Park on a Monday night. That's a Palace win. That is a Palace win. They've got 5 youngsters on the bench. Yeah, that doesn't actually have the bench. Let's have a look at the Man United bench. Manchester United. The bench. Bayinda, Heaton, Amas, Jackson, Ogonye, Ahmad, Amrabat, Collier, and Wheatley. So effectively, the only senior player that's had any game time this season is Amrabat. That's all they've got. They've got Amrabat to come off the bench if the going gets tough. That is unbelievable. By the way, we play them next weekend. Honestly, I want us to absolutely bend them over at Old Trafford. I want revenge for the 8-2. I really do want revenge for the 8-2. We need to hammer them. Absolutely hammer them. We will win at United. Oh, we should do. My bad for being late again. Was watching TFT again. No worries. Never apologise for that. Damn, that's an awful bench. It is. Honestly, we've got to smash them at Old Trafford. Never mind just beat. Why have they got 2 keepers on the bench? What? Why not? At that point, you're throwing random kids on the bench anyway. Do you think it's surprising that suddenly injuries is a major point for teams, but when Arsenal were getting kicked in the legs were snapped, we were told to deal with it? Same old. No one cared when Arsenal players got injured, so I don't care when their players get injured. I do think it's staggering, though, that Gary O'Driscoll leaves. Suddenly, Arsenal are very lucky with injuries, and Man United are very unlucky with injuries. I don't know what the bloke does, but it's not good. It is not good. Whenever people get overconfident, I always get mega nervous. I know, but I've been overconfident about this game for weeks. I've just had this feeling that we go to Old Trafford and absolutely tear them apart for weeks. So look, maybe I'll be wrong. And if I am wrong, there are going to be a lot of clips that will make me look silly, but I don't think I'm going to be wrong. 11 likes away from 100 likes. Come on. 11. There are 11 of you right now. Of the 218 people watching, there are 11 of you that have not liked this video. And that is a disgrace. You know, just like the video. As a Liverpool fan, I want Arsenal to win the league. I appreciate that. You know what? If it was the other way around and we dropped out of it, I would be wanting Liverpool to win it as well. So I'll say 5-0 Arsenal, 5-1 Arsenal. We will be there. We've hit 100 likes as well. Good job, team. Good job, team. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Gooner, the game where I give you 5 clues about an ex or current Arsenal player, and you have to guess who that player is. First person to get it right in the chat wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community. So get your fingers on your keyboards because we are starting now. Clue number 1, this player is 43 years old. Clue number 1, this player is 43 years old. Clue number 2, this player joined Arsenal from Stuttgart. Clue number 3, they won the Champions League with Barcelona in 2009. Clue number 4, they scored 10 goals in 130 games for Arsenal. And clue number 5, they made 81 appearances for Belarus. Who is the player? Lots of you have got it already, but I need to go and find out who got it first without being hit by VAR. Come on. Who got it first? Wow. It's a VV Vlad win. The king is back. VV Vlad, it was indeed Alexander Kleb. Ross Lawman was saying, look at that. It's a 1-2. It's a 1-2 for VV Vlad and Ross Lawman. Fair play. Mr. Adam was 3rd. Kevin Marquois was 4th. And who was 5th? Chris Walker was 5th. There you go. But congratulations to VV Vlad. Very unlucky for Ross Lawman, who was pipped to the post by Kevin Marquois. Thinks he was first. Kevin, you might want to scroll up because, my friend, you were not. Yeah, you definitely weren't. Nah. Check complete. It is a VV Vlad win. I apologize, Marquois, but it was not you. Was unsure who would have got it first. Fair play to Vlad. Yeah, it was close. Anyway, time for Guess the Non-Gooner. I'm going to give you the entire career path of a player who does not and has not played for Arsenal. And you have to guess who that player is. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community, but not as much respect as VV Vlad currently has. So, this player started their career at Pacos Ferreira. They went to Atletico Madrid. Whilst at Atletico Madrid, they went on loan to FC Porto. They then went on loan to Wolves. They then joined Wolves permanently. And then they joined Liverpool permanently. So Pacos Ferreira, Atletico Madrid, Porto on loan, Wolves permanently, Liverpool permanently. Lots of you have got it, but who was first? Wow, someone got it earlier than I thought, actually. Someone got it earlier than I thought. It's Ian Smith. Ian Smith has won it. It is indeed Diogo Jota. Ian Smith is the winner. Kevin Marquardt second. Look, Kevin, you had a good day. Second and fourth. But unfortunate not to get a win. Ethan Udall was third. Pekka was fourth. And Ryan Henderson was fifth. So there you go. That's your top five. You're not special for winning a game. Ian Smith, special. Well done. Well done. Congratulations. There you go. There you go. VV Vlad, Ian Smith, well done. Score predictions for Palace against Man United. Score predictions for Palace against Man United. I'm going 3-1 Crystal Palace. 3-1 to Crystal Palace. Eberici Eze with the goal. A goal. At least one. That's what we're going for. 4-1 Palace, 3-0 Palace, 2-0 Palace, 3-1, 1-0, 4-1 Palace, 5-1 Palace, 3-0 Palace, 3-2 to Palace, 2-1 to Palace. Everyone thinks Palace are going to win. Everyone thinks Palace are going to win. The defense is looking sus. Yeah, the defense does not look good. Imagine Elise at Arsenal. Yeah, I would like Elise at Arsenal, honestly. And a lot of people, by the way, a lot of Palace fans say that Elise doesn't have an attitude issue and that is just a bit of a urban myth. Have you seen that we're linked to Esteval Willian, the guy they called Mousinho? Yeah, I have. Yeah, I have. You seen United's bench? Yeah, United's bench is just a bunch of kids and Amrabat, basically. Elise, like Isak, is too injury prone. I agree, but half of the right wing options that are available are injury prone, unfortunately. Honestly, I'm just picturing Eze, Elise, and Mateta against Casemiro and Johnny Evans. And it's not even like they've got a huge amount of defense in front of them. Like Christian Eriksen defensively is almost non-existent. Kobbie Mainoo, great player, but how much can he do, really? You know? Thoughts on Lando Norris's win last night? Very good. I was buzzing for Lando last night. Yeah, you've misguessed the Gooner, unfortunately. Rocking the new kit? No, this isn't the new kit. Or do you mean, do I like the new kit? I do. I like the new kit. I like the new kit. There's another version of the third kit that I saw today, by the way, which is like white and it has a collar. So that was interesting. But I wish it was us playing United tonight. You don't have to wait long, VV Vlad. You don't have to wait long. Look, anyway, that is going to be the end of the live stream. I massively appreciate all of you for joining. Over 200 viewers, which is good. Back to solid numbers. Massively appreciate Hyper Protagonist and Peter for the support as well. And we'll be back tomorrow night, 6:30 as usual. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic evening. I hope you enjoy, hopefully, Palace battering Manchester United. But until then, I will catch you all tomorrow. Goodbye.